I'm going to tell you a bit what we had in mind for the rural revitalization platform, or what has been foreseen for the moment in the communication text, and frame a bit the discussions. But we are mostly here together today to discuss, and we are very much in from the Commission Rural Vision team side and in listening mode, and really picking your brains on what this should be. And the examples that have been presented are quite inspirational already. So what is the Rural Revitalization Platform? Is described as a flagship under the Rural Action Plan. And the words that I use to describe it is, it should be a one-stop shop for rural communities, project holders, and local authorities to collaborate. That it should predominantly support rural areas affected by population loss by sharing information and best practices on tools and strategies. So there's this content element which is in there. It's also very clear in the rural action plan, the way this action is described, that it should be a connector between different things that exist already. I think the CAP networks is an obvious one, but also the leader, the smart villages, Interreg, platforms on integrated territorial strategies, and that it should link up to the territorial agenda pilots, the Smart Rural 21, and I would say 27, preparatory action on the smart villages. So it needs to be a place where, a meeting place where people can meet and collaborate on these issues. So just to remind as well, because Maria Gaffo in the first thematic group meeting last year gave a framing, and I think it's good to recall that, yes, rural areas are diverse. So we're looking at very diverse rural communities in the context of this platform that the platform should serve, and we have to take this into account. And as well, this focus on predominantly rural areas affected by population loss, aging, and a lack of economic opportunities. I think this is a question which you may want to debate. Is this for all rural areas, or for only the red ones, or mostly the red ones on this map here that presents the average annual crude population growth rate in that three region between 2014 and 2019. And although I think the content of the platform can be useful for all rural areas, we need to ensure that there is a focus on these ones that suffer the most and are most affected by what we can call decline. This action has been really inserted in the rural action plan for this. So more concretely, yes, what Maria said in December as well, I wanted to recall what would you need to have in this platform. Reflection on enabling factors. That's what you did in the first thematic group, and the ENRD. I mean, the tool that comes out of your work is there to analyze which are the enabling factors, what they need to get there. Maria was saying the idea is to see if these children want to go on a trek. What do they need? On the road to rural revitalization. Then what resources do they need? So that could be the best practices, the tools, the strategies. And we were saying the tool is very much a self-assessment tool. But if we look at every line, what do we have as practices, as strategies that can actually answer or help every community move forward on the enabling factors where they are the weakest? And also actions. What do they need to do first? What do they need to do next? Or what do they need to do overall, and up to them to see in which order? So that was a bit the framing that we had in December. Now, in practice, what can we do and what can we not do? Or what is this action foreseen to be at the moment? So at this stage, what is foreseen is an online collaboration platform, so a website. And we are trying to conceive a common online space for all the rural vision activities, because we have this platform. We also have the need for an online space on the Rural Pact. We have the Rural Observatory that will go online, the toolkit on combining EU funds that Terry has mentioned earlier would go online as well. And so our plan is to have a common website for that. And the rural revitalization platform would be one element of it, but closely related to the others on the platform. And also it has to be closely connected to other things that exist already that I quoted a bit earlier. So what could this platform include? It could include top-down information, of course. That's always the easiest to put on the web. But then the question for you is, which content would you find most relevant? How to organize it in the best way? The self-assessment, I mean, the tool that has been presented earlier today, has a certain structure. Do you find that structure a good basis for the organization of this content? Then it could include user-generated content, as we have seen in the Finnish platform. And there are two same questions: what types of content do you think would be most useful to share? Who would be the target the people who would share? Do you have advice on this? And same for online interaction, which is possible to organize. And then what would be the needs for and recommended formats? So again, there's a lot of ideas that came from the three presentations before, and we are very grateful for that, but you may have complementary ideas that you can bring during the discussion that comes now. One important thing to say as well is at the moment, the vision is still a new endeavor. We have resources to develop the website, so to have the IT development contract, but it will need to be filled with content. And that will have to go to be done progressively. And there we see a potential link with the Rural Pact, because we are planning to contract an external body to help with the animation of the Rural Pact, and we would see them playing a role in maintaining in uploading content and maintaining the content as well, minding limitations in capacity. This is not going to have the magnitude of what we have under the CAP networks now, but we need to build on the other things that exist, and for this platform to act as a connector. So maybe we don't need to duplicate all the databases, but to see how we can relate to them in an efficient way. And moderation is a key question, of course. We have seen, okay, in the Finnish case, 300 people for the moment. What does it mean in terms of quality check? If we position ourselves at EU level with potentially thousands of users, which control do we need to have? Which moderation do we need to have on the content that is generated by the users? And I have in mind the first reflections we had on the EIP AGRI service point, EIP AGRI website some years ago, and on what we wanted to do and what has been possible in the end. So there we need to remain also mindful of capacities again. Synergies is an important point to think about with the CAP Networks website. We should avoid overlaps, build connections, maybe have similar functions that can dialogue very well with the Rural Pact as well, and other initiatives from the presentations this morning. I would say as well, how do we link these European platforms with similar platforms at national level, like the Finnish one or the initiative in Spain? That's something we need to conceive in the design of this collaboration platform, which we hope to come live in 22 or 22, most likely probably 2023. So this is a very quick sketch of what we may have in mind. So a common online space for the rural vision activities, where the rural revitalization platform would be the collaboration, the main collaboration interactive element with content targeted or at least matching the needs of areas facing population loss. Online collaboration tools and a repository maybe of the best practices to implement there. And so for that yellow circle, I would ask, what should we find when we click here? That's the key question for now. On the Rural Pact, additional elements would be, well, the work program of that Rural Pact that will be decided at the Rural Pact conference on 15th and 16th June. The commitments, the individual voluntary commitments that people are ready to make to work together towards the shared goals of the vision. We would have under the Rural Pact this in-person interaction because there it's foreseen, so that could come nicely as a complement to the online collaboration in the platform. But it's all actors involved in the pact, so we would not have this clear target on the areas facing population decline, although they are a major dimension of the work. And then we would have also there the rural observatory with the rural data platform, and the analytical papers that are foreseen every year, and the elements on the toolkit on combining EU funds. So our plan is to have this together, and we are negotiating that with our the different services in the Commission so that it's possible. So I think I'm done now. So over to you, Enrique, and I hope that was useful as a framing.